So don't pull back or hold back when you are putting out free content. You have to trust that it is going to return to you on the back end.
Wake up, it's time to be free. Wake up, what's blind now I see. Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Wake up, it's time to be me. Wake up, my mind is the key.
Well, hey everyone, welcome. It's Julian Gordon, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Daily Jules, where I drop nuggets of wisdom to help you increase your degrees of freedom. It does not matter how many college degrees you have. What really matters is your degree of freedom. It does not matter how much money you make. What really matters is how you actually make money. Today, we got a great question from Amparo, and she asked, how do you develop a content strategy for your business, especially when you're in a knowledge-based business? And I want to address that today. It took me a while to get to this, and I'm glad that I'm here. But, you know, originally I didn't have a content strategy. I would just blog and post on Facebook and things of that nature when I felt inspired. And that was good, and it got some likes, but I wasn't actually posting with any intention or any consistency, right? And that's really important to do if you want to develop a following. And so now, after being in this game for quite some time, I actually have a content strategy, and I have different platforms that I use for certain things. If you haven't read Gary Vee's book, Crushing It, I encourage you to get that, or his other book, Crush It. Those are two great books that will go deeper into how to leverage all of these social platforms to develop your following. Now, my following isn't necessarily the biggest, and that's okay. Would I want it to be bigger? Yes, but I focus on value over volume. I'm focused on value over volume. I'd rather have 1,000 of my ideal clients, potential clients, than to have 10,000 just random people out there actually engaging with me on a daily basis. And so I think that that's what I actually have. And of course, I'm trying to expand that to more of my ideal clients. My goal isn't to kind of capture everyone. I only want to capture and be in conversation with the people who share my values, who share and believe what I actually believe in, and want to create a world that is similar to me. So how do I actually attract those people? It's through content, various forms of content. So I'm going to share with you some of the content that I've been putting out and that has been effective in terms of growing my following and actually creating more sales on the back end. The goal isn't to sell to everyone. The goal, because not everybody is actually looking for a solution to anything in particular. The goal is actually to continue to put out content to find those 2, 3, 4 out of 100 people who actually need what you have to offer. Okay. So, one content strategy that I would employ is actually posting daily. Posting daily, right? And for me, I actually modeled after Gary Vee, and I have my daily show, which is the Daily Jules. That's the Daily Jules. And having the Daily Jules, it really just forces me to think creatively about what I can give. See, everything that you have in your mind for your market, it is your first language. So you're like, that would be mundane for me to have that conversation with the public, but you have to know that at some point you didn't know that information. And so there's somebody out there who actually needs what you have that comes so naturally and easy to you. There's somebody that would be a breakthrough for. And so by having the Daily Jules show, it actually forces me to get all of these amazing thoughts out of my head out into the real world so that other people can play with it, interact with it, engage with it, see if they like it, see if they don't like it, right? And by doing it every single day, literally like a musician, like Lil Wayne in his prime, I'm putting out a song every day, basically. And if I put out a song every weekday, guess what? There are going to be some songs that hit and some songs that flop. And in order to really have those spikes in your followership, and I'm not looking for followers, I'm actually looking for leaders. In order to have those spikes and attract people that you truly are meant to serve, you're going to need some of those hits. And so the more at bats you have, the more likely it is that you're going to hit singles, doubles, triples, and home runs. So I encourage you to figure out what kind of daily content strategy that you can have. In addition to the Daily Jules podcast, that podcast actually goes to iTunes. That goes to iTunes, it goes to YouTube, and it goes to Facebook. And as you know, I shoot the Daily Jules as a MP4, as a video. And when you have it in its highest form, right, then you can take derivatives from it. So on iTunes only gets the MP3. It's all audio. But YouTube gets the MP4 and Facebook gets the MP4 or the embedded YouTube video. But I could even take it a step further and turn this into text by making it a blog entry as well if I got the episodes transcribed. Right now, I'm not in that space, but this is why producing daily content is great. We've seen actually spikes in our website visits. We've seen spikes in terms of people interested in working with us as a result of moving to this daily content model. Now, there's other content that you can have in terms of your strategy, which include webinars, right? And you're likely not doing a webinar every night, right? So a webinar could be something that you schedule quarterly. It could be something that you do monthly. And a webinar is more of an extended teaching where you might teach for an hour and then make an offer to work with you in some particular way. It goes deeper than perhaps a podcast episode or a show. And it's more teaching and more education via a webinar. And so you can use this tool. You can use Zoom, or you can use Webinar Jam or GoToMeeting or something like that to put out longer forms of content that, again, you can repurpose. The thing I want to share with you in terms of content is that you always want your content to be evergreen, meaning that if you create it today, it has a potential to attract a customer 1 year from now, 2 years from now, because it's so rich and it's so good. See, when you do things that are trendy, and let's say for right now, you were talking about the latest movie, let's say it's Black Panther, that's not always going to be in the conversation, right? So it won't be evergreen because it won't be relevant maybe 3 months from now. And so anytime you're creating content, you want it to be evergreen, meaning that it has the greatest chance of lasting on the internet and being relevant on the internet, so that it can be a tool that is always pulling people and attracting people to you. So a webinar, you can consider doing that monthly, or you could do that quarterly. Other forms of content that you can do in addition to podcast, blog, YouTube video, Facebook, webinars, you could have challenges, right? You could have challenges. And I consider that part of your content strategy. And a challenge could be something where you are doing a 5-day challenge on losing 10 pounds. You could do a 5-day switch to vegan challenge. You could do a 5-day love challenge, right? You can do a 5-day business sales challenge. This is content. Now, for the end user, it's only going to come off as 5 days, but you know that there's going to be a lot of prep work that you need to do in terms of marketing, finding partners and things of that nature in order to pull off that challenge. But this is another form of content, and usually it's recyclable, meaning that you could do this challenge every 2 months, every 3 months, etc. And again, continue to build your community and continue to build your following. And when I'm talking about content strategy right now, we're talking about free content that you're just giving to the world for absolutely free. What you ultimately want to do is give so much that the universe actually has to pour into you, right? Where the universe abhors a vacuum. And so if you give, I guarantee that what you receive will be in direct proportion to what you give. Now, most people, in terms of their content, they hold back their best stuff. Now, if I put 2 people on the same path and one person is holding back their best stuff, right, and putting out their weakest stuff, hoping that their weakest stuff is going to attract people, then they can sell their best stuff. And then there's another person who's putting out their best stuff, right, their A stuff, and then they're going to sell their B, C, and their B and C content, right, on the back end. Which business would you invest in? You would actually invest in the business that is giving out their A stuff, because the A stuff is going to attract 20 times more people than the B level stuff, right? So don't pull back or hold back when you are putting out free content. You have to trust that it is going to return to you on the back end. Again, you are not trying to sell to everyone who is reading your blog, listening to your podcast, watching your videos. That is not the goal. You are simply trying to build a relationship over time through consistency until that person or a person amongst those who have seen your work actually says, you know what, that person could actually help me at a deeper level and I'm ready to engage. They've given me so much great value. They've helped me get this far on my own, but here's where I feel stuck. Here's where I hit a plateau. And I know that they have the answer to what I need because they're doing it and then they've helped other people do it. So this is how I think about my content strategy. One other thing to share with you is there are ways like this show in particular where I record all the episodes on a single day and then it gets cut up and split up, right? And put out over the course of the following weeks. So right now, I'll say this. TV studios work in the exact same way. If Family Feud, Steve Harvey, they shoot multiple episodes in one day. Like I remember being at UCLA and you could actually go to a TV shoot like Wheel of Fortune and things of that nature, and you could actually sit in on like five episodes, and you can get paid to go sit in as the studio audience, but the characters on the stage and the host actually changes outfits, right? And so that content gets put out through the network over time, but they shot it all in one day. There's been times where I've shot 14 videos in one day that ended up being in an email sequence that goes out over a 3-month period, right? You just got to change the outfits. So if doing something daily is too much for you, you can actually focus half of one day to creating content for the entire next week. And then it just gets laid out according to your content calendar, right? So this is how I'm thinking about content right now. I am picking up my game on Instagram, the 60-second videos with small posts connected to them, and that has been effective. And I'm trying to find outlets for the thoughts in my head. Trying to find outlets for the thoughts in my head. There's all kinds, from Snapchat to Instagram to Twitter to Facebook to podcasting to SoundCloud. The list goes on. You have to find the avenue and the distribution channel that allows you to be all of who you are and communicate in the way that you desire to communicate. Each channel is different. There's also LinkedIn, right? So something that you post on Facebook may not actually fit in LinkedIn. And so this is what people mean when you want your content to be native, that it actually fits what that audience's mindset is when they are actually receiving it from you. If you try to create one piece of content and put it on all these platforms, the same piece of content, it won't be received the same way. And it actually will probably be dumbed down. It's like giving the same Christmas gift to everyone, right? It may be a great gift, but everybody else, the recipients of the gifts are all different, right? And so you want to think about that as you are creating your content, all right? So I hope that this blesses you. Go out there and figure out what's a small piece of content that you could put out daily that could add value to your community and to your list, and do it. Just go do it for 5 days. I know my good friend Paul Carrick Brunson is doing the 4-in-4 challenge, where he is challenging people to put 4 videos up on LinkedIn over a course of 4 weeks. And that has gone viral, right? But there's something that blocks us when we have a camera in front of us, or when we are ready to hit publish on a blog post. There's something that blocks us from actually putting ourselves out there. But as it's something that's blocking us, but it's also hurting us at the same time because we aren't reaching those who we're meant to reach, right? So I encourage you to get out there. Only good things will happen from it. You may get some bad comments here and there, or whatever, but those will pale in comparison to all the people that you help, all right? This is Julian Gordon with another episode of the Daily Jules. I hope that this one blesses you, and go out there and create, all right? Much love. Peace.
I hope these mindsets, metaphors, and methodologies blessed you. If you desire more freedom, go to getfreenow.com to subscribe to the show on iTunes, YouTube, or Facebook, and get 4 of my best courses in the Freedom School for 100% free.